This is about to become some of the worst content on my whole channel. Hello my precious everyone, welcome back to Wow Mel. So for those who don't know, I stream on Twitch and I recently passed my 1-year streaming anniversary, so I had a donathon to raise money to get a PC because right now I stream off my PS4. And one of the stretch goals was that if we hit a certain amount of donations, I would read an old book I wrote in elementary school. I have a lot of old books, probably about 10 of them that were intended to be in novels, but I never finished them, so most of them sit at somewhere between 5 and 25 pages. And these were books I had written in elementary school because when middle school came, I actually kind of bunkered down and committed to writing a novel. Actual ones that got completed, and these were all my ones before I had that drive to complete things in my life. This particular one is basically a glorified Portal fanfic. I didn't really know what fanfic was back then. I was really into Portal in late elementary school, so I probably wrote this somewhere between 4th and 5th grade. I also really liked Portal 2, and I shipped Gladys and Wheatley. I'm a sucker for an enemies to lovers trope, especially back in the day. I would ship basically anything and everything, but thankfully I did actually change some things for this book. It is called When I Met You. It is, again, before I knew what fanfic was. So basically I took the concept loosely of Portal. So there's a laboratory in here that we'll get to, and they all wind up working for it, and I had the characters of Chell and Wheatley and Gladys and I think Mr. Johnson. I don't know if the concept of Carolyn was in here. She may have been, she may not have been. I changed all their names. I mean I changed their personalities quite a bit because they don't really act like their characters at all. Also, I made Wheatley Australian instead of British because I don't want to seem like I was copying. This is about 12 pages, and I'm just gonna read it for you. I have it here. I'll also put it on the screen, but you know, if I'm ever looking down, that's what's up. But I guess let's just get into this hot mess. Again, it's titled When I Met You, that word art, Chapter 1. When my life hit an all-new low, I wasn't ready. My husband up and left me with only about $50. Did he rob you before he left? Here I am in a crazy little town called Hellamy, desperately searching for a job. My name is Gladys. I'm 25 and I'm not quite sure I'll make it to 26. My hair is a gorgeous brown, but it's straight and boring and not fun to put up. Okay? I have crystal blue eyes, my best feature. All I have on is one of those long jacket things, a cardigan, over my Chinese painting looking tank top and my leggings. Okay, the reason I put Chinese painting looking tank top is because my older sister had a shirt that reminded me of traditional Chinese calligraphy bamboo style art that was on a shirt, and I really liked it. It was my favorite shirt that she had. Anyways, does no one see me prowling the streets, lost and alone? I can hold my own very well, but not quite with $50 to live on. I'm not a miracle worker. I walk past Cherry Top Drive and Tomato Terrace. What's up with these names? What is this tent saying? I'm walking on Apple Alley when I finally see a woman who looks around my age in a uniform. It kind of looks like a scientist's coat. The name tag says Lynn. This must be Carolyn. Again, I changed everyone's names a little bit, even though Carolyn's kind of Gladys. I would say there's Portal 2 spoilers in this weird fanfic not fanfic, but I feel like it's been out so long we don't have to worry about that, right? I take a chance and ask, where's the nearest hotel? Too expensive. Motel? Too expensive. Inn? Too expensive. Place I can stay, I decide to say.
Oh, you're new around here, aren't you?
Said Lynn. I also didn't really know how to format dialogue at this point, so forgive the huge paragraphs. How could you tell, I ask?
Because you don't know where the nearest place you can stay is, and it's right down this block. Huge and showing off.
Oh, okay then. I'm Gladys, by the way, I say.
I'm Lynn, as you could probably tell. Well, good luck on getting a room. It's always packed.
Man. Okay then, bye. The hotel, TM, is packed and expensive. I could never stay here. It's got golden railings and golden doors and golden keys and golden toilets. and there's just so much gold. I leave the second I walk in, but apparently not so fast that you couldn't check out the bathrooms. But not fast enough where people can't see me and whistle. Wow. Back in the day, I was aware of catcalling. That's so sad. I run back to Lynn, who says,
"Oh, well, do you, want to stay with me?"
I look at the building we're in front of. I wouldn't pay much for it. Are we suddenly in front of a different building? I guess. It's white and chipping and has a huge sign on the door, and the sign's not saying anything pleasing. Pespulia whatever. Laboratories? Lynn notices me looking at it.
Yeah, it's where we test out scientific methods and theories and stuff like that. You don't have to stay, but the others would love to meet you.
Please. After I met someone, they wish they could unmeet me, I say.
I don't.
Lynn says quietly, and they were both girls.
But if you don't want to stay, I won't force you.
Lynn sighs and stands up. I never said I didn't want to stay. I'd love to stay as long as you don't charge much, I say, standing up as well.
Well, I'm sure I can let you stay a few nights for free, but then you'd have to pay or leave.
Thanks. I run to the door and fling it open. A tall man is staring back at me. Lynn walks in. This is Dollar Tree Mr. Johnson, by the way.
Hello, Mr. Renson. I found her on the streets and I wondered if she could stay a bit.
Certainly. She can stay for 3 days, but then she needs to get her butt out of here. We're having the Masons over.
I don't know. I think I had a Black Mesa and the Masons were Black Mesa, but I'm not quite sure. Mr. Renson, the tall guy, says,
What's your name, soldier?
Soldier? Gladys, I say, and Mr. Renson replies,
Well, Gladys, call me Mark.
That's my dad's name. Why'd I name him after my dad? I guess I couldn't think of any other, like, middle-aged man names. Mark said, but I think I'll stay with Mr. Renson. Even Lynn calls him that. Even Lynn calls him that, even though he's her boss.
Well, soldier, you should go meet the crew before Lynn shows you your room.
They should be in the lounge. That's where they always go after testing,
Lynn says, leading me down billions of hallways and into a room with gray and white couches everywhere. So the wallpaper's chipping, but it's huge in here. Maybe that's where all the money went. I expected some huge staff and a billion managers because the place was huge and a laboratory, but there was only 2 people sitting there. Ken with the tensing girl. There was a bubbly girl with curly brown hair and a huge smile.
Hi, I'm Shell.
I think you can guess who Shell is supposed to be. Shell jumps up from her seat and I swear that ball of energy is going to explode.
William, say hi.
Shell whispers to William, but I can still hear her.
She'll laugh at my accent, Shell.
William says, but he's so quiet I can't really hear him.
What did you say?
Shell asks.
She'll laugh, Shell.
William says, a bit louder.
What did you say?
Shell practically screams, so William turns to me and says,
G'day, mate. I'm William. I'm from down under.
Of course, every Australian ever. Okay, is that supposed to impress me? William smiles, and I can tell he thinks I'm different. I'm not like other girls. TM.
Why, yes it is.
William says, then laughs. Okay, William, you might want to rethink what you think impresses women and what makes them laugh at you. I say, flaring my Gladys charm. Oh, here she is, our snarky Gladys.
I told you, Shell. She's nothing but a blowy.
Shell cracks up at that, but I don't know what he's saying. I'll need to learn the Australian slang. I was writing this and I knew Wheatley was British or sounded British, and so I was like, I have to make him something different. I'll make him Australian. And so I like insisted on adding Australian slang in here. And whenever I was writing this, I had a tab open that had a bunch of Australian slang, and I would cram it in here whenever humanly possible. I am not, I shout defensively.
He just called you a blowfly.
Shell cracks up again, and I give him my death stare. Use your eyes, idiot. I'm not a blowfly.
Aye, but you look like one.
William cracks himself up, and I would have been fed up with him a while ago if it weren't for one thing. He's the first guy I know who doesn't like me or think I'm hot. Now, most people love that and think it's flattering, but I flat out hate it. It gets so old, I start to take it offensively. People find me attractive, and I took that personally, because I'm not like other girls who like being attractive. Lynn clears her throat to let us know she's still there.
Anyway, this is Gladys. Be nice to her.
Lynn says and leaves.
Okay, Gladys. You might want to learn some Australian slang. I'll start. Arvo means afternoon and bloody means fairy.
Shell tells me.
Use one of those in a sentence.
Alright, I hope you're having a bloody good Arvo. Ugh, I sound like an idiot, I say.
Ace.
William says.
That means excellent. Excellent. Very good.
Shell tells me. Oh, I give up. I think I'll buy a handbook. Shell nods and William asks,
You work here?
Nope, just staying for a couple nights.
Here? Come on, mate. You can do better than that.
My face must have turned into something horrid, because William says,
Sorry, didn't mean to offend you. This place is nice, but there are bed and breakfasts out in the world, you know.
I know, but I can't afford them. I must have stuck a heartstring, because everyone's faces turn very upset.
Oh, that's horrible. I feel so sorry for you, but I'm sure you can work it.
William covers Shell's mouth.
William, get your slimy fingers off my mouth.
Shell complains as she pulls William's hand off her mouth.
Anyway, mate, I'm sorry to hear about your troubles, but we can't help you much.
I'm sure we can. Maybe we can make her...
She'll turn into a bludger shell, relying on everyone else.
I know, but...
I don't listen to what Shell says after that. I think instead. I'm really going to need a job and quick. I've mastered in a lot of things, which is weird because I'm young, but I'm very advanced and can learn quickly. I'm a professor at school and things like that. I helped teach some classes at you. And yeah, I'm broke. I'm almost positive someone will take me in, but where? I'm brilliant, but horrible at anything physical. Plus, I actually lack some, common sense in a term. I'm kind of mean and don't like to be bothered. She's very self-aware.
She's not listening. She's away with pixies.
I hear William saying, he waves a hand in front of my face. What's your problem? I ask him.
Nothing. What were you?
Lynn busts down the door and shouts,
The Masons are here.
Crikey, you scared me. But those Fruit Loops are here? This isn't good, mate. They steal everything we do.
I can't handle how Australian he is. I'm so sorry if anyone Australian is watching this. What do you do? I ask, but everyone just exits the room and leaves. No one even explains anything. They're a bunch of jerks, even though they're giving you free stay. I'll find my own way around. I find myself mindlessly wandering the halls, dropping in a room or two, but nothing's in there. I open a door to a room where I see a bed, table, and dresser. Must be someone's room. Yes, we've established this is a room. I see a desk plate on the desk that says William. I wander around in there until I see an envelope with words stamped on it in red ink. Letter denied. Must return to requester. I take the letter out of the envelope. I know I shouldn't, but I'm very curious. I read,
Dear Lily, please help. I'm all alone. I'm broke and wet, and have a fever. It's pouring hard. I really need you to come back to me and help me get my feet back on the ground.
I'm turning into a country boy.
I'm devastated and don't have money to see a counselor. You see, I was about to propose to...
I stop there. My eyes just physically can't finish the sentence. I really shouldn't be reading this. But what is that all about? Girl, I put the letter back in the envelope and leave the room. I walk into a few other rooms, but can't shake this feeling of empathy for William off. What happened to him? Why is he here? How is he happy? Chapter 2. After the Masons leave, everyone is exhausted. No one wants to talk, except Shell. She always wants to talk.
They are cheats. They steal everything we do, but make it prettier so everyone likes it better.
Shell is blabbering on and on and on about the Masons, but it's getting really annoying. Shell, will you please shut up? I'm trying to think. Shell doesn't look at all hurt. In fact, she looks happy.
That reminds me of what I was thinking about earlier.
Shell, did anyone tell you how annoying you are? I snap, and Shell stares at me.
Did anyone tell you how mean you are?
She says, and immediately I felt hurt. I never felt hurt. Except for my husband when he left me, of course. But it was just when she said,
You're mean.
Why? Those simple words made me want to cry. She had character growth in like 2 pages because she said she was mean very recently and seemed okay with it. Was it because Shell was my friend? Or almost my friend and I blew it? I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm sorry, but you do talk a lot, I say, seeing if this counted as an apology. It did.
You're forgiven. So anyway,
Shell kept talking, which isn't unusual, acting like you know her. But I turned my attention towards William. He saw me looking at him and shrugged. Lynn decided to take charge and say,
Everyone, Mr. Renson is tired and wants all of you to go to your rooms. Dismissed.
She turns to leave, but I tell her, you didn't give me a room.
Oh, I'm such a poop head. Right this way.
Lynn says, dragging me down a hallway. She opens the doorknob and lets the door swing open.
Here you go.
I look at the room. It looks just like William's, but cleaner. I walk in. Ew, what's the skunk? It looks like William's, but cleaner, but I immediately say, ew, what's the skunk? Why is it in my room? Don't you have standards around here? What's in William's room? Lynn walks in my room to look at the disgusting green slime on my desk. To my horror, she dips her hand in it and sniffs it.
How did the spring gel get in here?
I stole the spring gel? Wow.
Must be a leak. Or maybe someone used this as an extra room and put their dirty work clothes here?
Lynn asks no one in particular.
It should be fine,
she says, then wipes it up. When she leaves, I'm in my room, by myself. I decide to go to William's room and pester him. I get lost in the tangle of hallways and end up at Shell's room. Hi, Shell, I say, walking in. Do you know where William's room is?
Oh, you want to find little old William? Why? Oh, do you like him?
Not really, he's pretty annoying.
You totally like him,
Shell says. I playfully punch her in the arm, but she makes a scene and shouts,
ow! Why did you hit me?
Because you're annoying. Where is he? Wow, such friends.
He's down the hall. I'll walk you there.
Shell leads the way, and when we get there, she pounds down William's door and shouts,
hi!
William whirls around from his seat in front of the computer and says,
Hi, Shell. Mind not breaking down the door when you enter? Thanks.
William completely ignores me, and I get annoyed. What are you doing?
Stuff.
William replies. What kind of stuff? You can't get away with a cheap answer like stuff, I say, and William's face gets all scrunched up, like he's really annoyed or having constipation. A lot of my old books mention having constipation. I guess that was peak humor for me. What? Do you have to poop or something? I ask him, and that just makes him look worse. Shell decides to get the train moving and pushes William out of the way to see what he was writing.
Just an email,
Shell says, disappointed.
It says, hey Jeffrey, how's it going back down under? It's fine here, but work is the worst. It's boring. I got all my mates with me though, so that's good. What's up with you? Are you stuck with the sticky beak still? Are they asking where your gym socks are again?
Shell has to stop because William covers her mouth and turns off his computer.
Shell ever hear of privacy?
Yeah, but you didn't lock your door or anything, so I thought it was just kind of a walk-in thing.
That does not apply to the email, girl.
Shell, you're a mystery bag.
What? I'm American. I don't understand what the heck you're saying, I say.
I'm Australian. I don't get what you mean when you say, I got your back or give it a shot.
I don't know if that's true. Australians, please confirm.
You speak rubble. I've no clue what you say.
But William, you're in America. Learn American slang. It gets annoying when we can't understand what you're saying. Oh my god, Gladys is one of those people.
Well, Shell understands, and Lynn understands, and Mr. Renson understands, so I won't be speaking differently for one person who will be staying here for 2 days, mate.
Don't call me that, I snap, and I smack him on the head. Gladys! Gladys? Low-key abusive? Question mark? Then I leave. I don't want to hang out with that butthole anymore. When I get to my room, I feel like I just killed my mom. I haven't read this in a very long time. I knew it would be dramatic, but wow. I feel like a dirt. Lynn drops by but doesn't say much, and I don't really care what she has to say. I don't really care what anyone has to say right now, except me. Just get out of this stupid place, I tell myself. But where would I go? I could always stay with any man that I want, because they all love me, except your husband, who left you and robbed you before he left. I can see why he left you, girl. Except William. He clearly doesn't love me. I have to say that's the first person who didn't whistle when they saw me. He didn't even flinch. He's so different. But he's annoying. I don't like him. I don't like anyone, really. All I need is myself. All I need is my mind. I don't need some stupid Australian boy's mind to come in and tell me what he thinks. I'm an independent woman. I can do everything on my own. I don't need them. All I need is a job. Chapter 3. In the morning, I decide it's time I look for a job. That's when you decided? A good job, the kind that gets you about $500 a week. Okay, listen, I didn't really know how money works, and I have recently discovered that's not really a livable wage. Oh god, I really didn't get how money worked It's probably something like a doctor, something I couldn't do, but I've been to Yale, and I was good. It's hard not to respect someone with that kind of accomplishment. Maybe I could be a lawyer? Boring. Gladys, what were you studying at Yale? And you were supposedly a professor. Banker? Boring. A network operator? I definitely looked that up. Something practical. Maybe an astronaut? Now I'm just being a kid. I'll work at a nearby diner maybe, but what about a career? I'll worry about that once I have an apartment, or someone's basement, or someone's closet. I don't really care as long as I can call it my own. My thoughts get interrupted by someone pounding on my door. It's the unmistakable voice of, "Hi!" Shell says as she throws open the door.
What's up?
I don't really feel like talking to Shell, but I tell her, not much, just thinking about a career. Shell's face lights up. I have a feeling she's going to tell me whatever William didn't want her to say.
Aren't you really smart?
I blush at this. I don't like it when people brag about me, but say yes.
Didn't you go to, like, Yale?
How did she know this? So I acknowledge that that doesn't make sense, but I go for it anyway. Yeah, I say.
Well, then you could work here.
My face gets all twisted. My eyes practically pop out of my head, and Shell looks very confused.
Did I say something wrong? Is being a scientist not a career?
It is, but I could just get this job for being smart.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
Shell says, but the question I really want to ask is, how did she get the job? She's not that bright. Gladys, how do you know? Just because she talks a lot doesn't mean, alright. She must have known exactly what I was thinking, because she looks offended and says,
my physical capabilities are far superior from the average human. I can run a mile in 2 minutes. I can lift a grown man. I can twist my body into a pretzel. It doesn't really matter if I'm smart.
I'm practically screaming on the inside. Shell's really weird.
Just ask Mr. Renson, then give him a cup of coffee, tell him you like science, fill out one form, see if he gives you the job, and you're done.
Why do you have to give him coffee? Shell says, flinging her arms everywhere. It'll be so exciting. I nod my head, but I'm not really sure it's as easy as Shell says it is. It's a scientist's job. It's pretty huge, but I just smile and nod. It's the best lesson your teachers can give you. Even if it's the most boring lesson ever, just smile and nod, and they'll be like, best student ever. It doesn't really matter if you do your homework or not. If you give them respect, they'll love you. Period. Gladys got those insider tips.
Do it!
Shell says and exits my room. I think it over. What if I make a fool of myself? What if Shell's lying? What if she's not? I decide to do it. I walk around in the hallways and find a room with a sign that says, come on in, soldier. Totally Mr. Renson's room. I don't know why I gave him that catchphrase. Does Cave Johnson say that? I can't remember. I knock on the door and hear an unmistakable,
come on in, soldier.
I open the door and see that Lynn is in there too.
Goodbye, Mr. Renson,
she says and quickly leaves. Hello, Mr. Renson. I'm here to ask about a job. You know, if you're offering one, because Shell told me I just need to ask in.
Ah, Gladys, sure you can have a job here.
Mr. Renson says, seriously? I can just get one here just like that? I admit, normally it's much harder to get a job. In fact, this was so easy, I'm not sure he's serious.
All you have to do is sign this one paper.
Even easier than Shell said it was. I read it over.
Under no circumstances can you spy, trick, or steal from Pespulia Laboratory. That's an awful name. Laboratories, for Mason Laboratories. You may, however, steal from them for us. If you sign on the following line, you may not switch over to Mason Laboratories. Alright, soldier, just sign below.
Nothing else. No mention of pay, no workers' comp, no anything. Seems simple enough, but I can go to the Mason Laboratories? What is that anyway? I thought they were friends with the Masons. Mr. Renson noticed me eyeing it suspiciously.
You have a problem with it? Are you working with the Masons?
No, but I thought you were friends with them.
They think we are, but we aren't.
Mr. Renson says, end of conversation. Okay, I say, signing my signature. Gladys Willow. My weird name. But I like it. It's unique. After I sign it, Mr. Renson snatches the paper away from me.
Okay, Gladys Willow, you live in here, sleeping in the room you have now, and tomorrow you'll start work. Lynn will show you where to go and what to do.
I nod. How much will I get paid? It seemed like an important question, but Mr. Renson seemed offended.
We do it for science.
So I won't get paid? I ask, ready to grab the contract and rip it up. I suppose I should have asked more questions before I signed my name. I just really wanted a job.
No, you'll get paid maybe $400 a week, but we mainly do it for science.
Okay, but how many hours are you working? Because if you work like a normal 40-hour work week, that's $10 an hour. Oh good, I say, feeling really relieved. I hear someone knocking at the door.
Come on in, soldier.
William opens the door and waltzes in. Hi, William. I just got a job here, so I'm staying. William's face falls.
Good for you. Mr. Renson, the spring gel is leaking everywhere. Not that dang thing. I had to scrap the whole thing.
Mr. Renson starts shaking his head, and I could have sworn it would fall off.
I gotta scrap the whole thing.
Can't cut the system. What about all the advanced science we could do?
Lynn runs through the door and continues,
We don't kill science. We make it grow. We don't shut things down. We turn things on. We bring futuristic science into the modern world. Do you want to throw that away?
Lynn is very persistent.
Alright, I guess we could get William to fix it. Yay!
William says sarcastically, then heads for the door. I stop him. Oh, and William? Don't forget to clean the gel. Gladys, why are you being mean for no reason? Also,
William, clean this gel.
and William, don't forget to clean the gel. Chapter 4. When I wake up, I see Lynn in my room. Ah, what are you doing here? I ask her.
Well, you were supposed to wake up an hour ago, but I didn't really want to wake you, so I just stood here. Mr. Renson is very flexible the first few weeks, but be prepared to wake up earlier.
Earlier? It's 6 o'clock. They start work at 5? It'll take me about a half hour to get ready, so I'd need to wake up at 4:30? No way.
Okay, well, get ready. I'll tell Mr. Renson you'll be here in 15 minutes. Does that work for you?
No. Sure, I say and quickly get dressed a minute after Lynn leaves. I don't have any makeup. Oh man. So after I brush my hair with the brush that came with the room, apparently, I walk out and navigate my way to the main conference room. I push open the doors. I rub my eyes. It's so bright.
A sleepy soldier, who?
William is already making me mad. Ha ha ha, an annoying soldier, Where's Shell, I ask.
Oh, she's running the tests. You don't need to worry about those today. Today we'll give you the tour of all the rooms and what they do.
Lynn says.
Alright, Lynn, you show Gladys around and Pixie and I will test.
Mr. Renson says, Pixie?
William's nickname.
Lynn mouths to me. When we leave the room, I burst out laughing. Pixie? That's ridiculous. I laugh.
Well, he's always spacing out with the faraway look in his eyes, and in his terms, he's away with the pixies.
Oh, well, still, that's ridiculous.
Well, you don't stay a soldier forever.
Oh no, I'll get a horrible name too?
Not unless you do something with a horrible name, but soon Mr. Renson will come up with a name for you, you'll see.
Lynn tells me. Oh god, I hope that day never comes.
And this
Lynn pushes open a door 2 hours later.
is the bathroom.
That would have been a good thing to show me first, I say, then walk in, locking the door. They had other bathrooms, but those were with the rooms. This is a huge deluxe bathroom with no real sink, but a slit where you put your hands and it cleans them. I relive myself and look in the mirror. Did I always look this tired? I search desperately for a brush, then give up. As I unlock the door and push it open, I hear,
Ow, what was that for?
I slam the door closed and look William in the eye. What was what for?
That, whacking me with the door.
You were outside the bathroom while I was using it. You deserve to be hit. Gladys, you gotta stop with this. Anyways, what are you doing here? Where's Lynn? I ask. And we never found out where Lynn was because that's the end of the book. I randomly put it down one day in like 2011 and never picked it back up. And honestly, for the best. As you can obviously tell, it was meant to be a Gladys times William fic, but I never got that far. I don't know why I made Chell super bubbly because Chell doesn't really talk in the games at all. But I guess I needed someone like bubbly to contrast Gladys's quirky doom and gloom / just meanness. She kills me. She's like, everyone loves me except for William. He's different, but so am I. I'm also different. And he knows that I don't like his Australian accent. Perhaps I'm the only girl who doesn't. Like, oh my god. I have a lot of little books like this, so I might occasionally definitely dig them out of the depths where they honestly deserve to stew in agony forever and read them to you, because it is really funny and I hope it gives you some joy, even if it also makes you cringe out of your mind. And to everyone who donated at my donathon, thank you so much. I hope this mess was worth it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I post every other Sunday and make videos mostly about cosplay and Dungeons and Dragons, but also the other sorts of nerdy things I'm into, including old Portal fanfics. I hope you have a beautiful day, my precious everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!